Actually, we've got a lot of positive feedback. We put it out for the specific purpose of getting some information on how Quake acts over a network, a large network like the internet. There were a lot of people who sent back some negative feedback saying it was boring, there aren't any monsters, or the monsters that are in there, once they hack them out, didn't do what they were supposed to do. And well, it's a network version. The monsters weren't supposed to be in there, and it's actually supposed to be just for deathmatch. So that aside, we did get some excellent network information, and we're actually able to make the game run smoother with more players over an international network connection. So in the end product will be much better as a result of that test. There's a very loose story that we're working with through the development of the game. There's this one controlling bad guy who's sending entities through time to collect things, technology. That story is probably going to change a bunch of times before it's actually released, but that's the premise that we're running with right now. So you'll actually have sort of time gates, or we call them slip gates, where you'll be able to pass through a slip gate, enter into a new level, which is, say, the medieval time, or the futuristic time, or the present-day military time. Maybe, maybe not. It all depends on how it really adds to gameplay. Does it actually? Is there a point to which it becomes annoying? It's like, oh, the first time is cool, second time is cool, third time it's like, I wish that thing would just open. We look at things strictly from gameplay, not necessarily from eye candy. Though we try to get a good balance. The items that are in there for gameplay have to be aesthetically wonderful, as you'll see with a lot of the lighting effects in Quake. It's just absolutely gorgeous. But when we look at it, we have to have that balance. If it adds to gameplay, we'll have it in there. If it doesn't add to gameplay, probably not. I think what you're going to see in the outside levels, in the absence of gardens and flowers and such, probably more dark, like a wizard's keep, a castle with tall spires rising into the air with a dragon circling. He's the wizard's minion, and by the way, you see the attack. Quick Quake hint: if the dragon gets in the game and you see him, get away. Tip for the day. We don't want to up the ante on the level of the machine that's necessary to play the game. It looks like now we're shooting for a 46 DX266, but right now it's looking like it's going to be a Pentium-based box. Last thing we want to do is carve out another segment of the marketplace by saying, oh, sorry, needs a P6 or something. It's $5,000 for the game, you get a free computer. Again, it's very difficult for the machine to keep up with what's going on. In order to have all of the things that are going on, like all the monsters running, everything that's happening in the world, to calculate real-time lighting with, let's say, real-time shadows, very difficult for the machine to keep up with it. I mean, there's a trade-off. If we wanted to do real-time lighting, we'd have to rip out some of the monsters, take out the AI. It's basically, we've got a scale. It's like, yeah, okay, real-time lighting, something's going to go. Monsters will range all the way from an intelligent human guard straight on through to the big super boss bad guys, which really haven't been developed yet. We've right now, we've got a version that we're showing off for ECTS that's got approximately about 8 or 9 levels. I mean 8 or 9 monsters.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Exactly 8 or 9.
This shareware version of the game, just in terms of number of levels that we'll have, we'll be releasing a shareware version of the game for people to download for free and play at their whim. That we expect that game will have between 5 to 9 levels, with a number of deathmatch only levels tacked on top. The register to the full version of the game will have anywhere between 25 to 30 levels. Well, we're still working on the sound effects, or I should say the guys at 9 Inch Nails are working on the sound effects to refine them, make them better, get them completely finalized. We're probably not going to do anything with music. Having background music, through our research we found that a lot of people, the real serious Doom players, ended up shutting the music off. After a while they just turned it all off. So with that in mind, we have a choice. We can put music in, and the size of the music files and the MIDI drivers to run them, or we can use that space for something else, like better AI or proper underwater death effects or something like that. I honestly haven't seen Unreal other than the one or two screenshots that have escaped. I know the guys who are doing it, and I'm hopefully it'll be a great game, because first we're game players and we appreciate great games as much as anybody. So if they come out with a great game, we'll be all over it, playing the hell out of it. Prey looks like it could be a real good, and they've obviously got a real good engine going. Hopefully they'll be able to put a real good game on top of it. The rendition board looks to be really hot. The S3 board looks to be really cool. What we're going to do in the DOS version of Quake is we're going to write a driver for one or two of them. We don't know which ones. The developer guys really have, the development team has the handle on that. And we'll take the code that we generate from those drivers and we'll throw it out to the world, all the other cards, and say, hey, write your own driver and make sure your tech support number's in it. So it'll support it. The Windows 95 version, of course, gets it from the Direct 3D stuff. The way we work it's not possible. I mean, we'll develop. There's a next generation coming. I don't know what the hell it is. Only John Carmack knows, and Michael Abrash know. Those are the guys who really put the technology down, and they probably aren't going to say too much or get too specific with what they're doing until they've got something down. As soon as it's finished. I mean, it's rather than tell everybody lies and say, well, it's date, and then on the next day that follows that date comes out next date, and a lot of the stuff that you hear from a lot of our friends in the business, I'm going to be upfront and honest with you right now. It'll be done when it's done. We're hitting challenges, the fix to which we have no idea how long it'll take.